British actor pronounces the name Zendaya. I'm already laughing.
The Golden Globes, live CBS Sunday and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Getting close to New Year's Day, what kind of weather can we expect? Things will be getting colder as we head into the new year. More details at 11.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, we'll have the latest on a plane crash in South Korea that killed all but 2 passengers on board. Plus, we'll have more reactions from around the country following the death of America's 39th president, Jimmy Carter, who died yesterday. He was 100 years old. And in California, for the Tournament of Roses parade, preparations are being made for a float to recognize all who have donated organs and help save lives. Your 19 News at 11 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
Things looking pretty tranquil for the balance of the night here in the Marquette region, and looking cloudy for New Year's Eve. Quite tranquil here in Marquette itself, though some of you in the snowbelt areas will probably get maybe an inch or so of snow out toward Lawrence and out toward Newberry. Temperatures will be around 30 degrees, and most of you will be around the lower 30s for your highs to round out 2024, though it does look colder as we head on into the new year. More details on that later in the show. Kevin?
Tom, thanks very much for just in. An unnamed suspect is now lodged in the Delta County Jail following a traffic stop in Delta County. The Upper Peninsula Substance Enforcement Team has been following what they're calling a known drug dealer for several months. On Saturday, Upset and Michigan State Police pulled over the suspect in an undisclosed location. After running their dog, it alerted on the vehicle 1 pound of crystal methamphetamine and 1 ounce of cocaine was found inside. The driver's name is currently being withheld and no other information is being released as the investigation takes place. U.S. federal investigators are headed to South Korea to help figure out what caused the fiery crash landing of a Boeing jet on Sunday. All but 2 of the 181 people on board were killed. We get details from Elizabeth Palmer.
Jeju Air Flight 2216 was already in trouble on its final approach. The pilot had reported a bird strike and sent a mayday signal. And the plane's landing gear wasn't down as it raced to the end of the runway and crashed into a concrete wall. All 175 passengers died, along with 4 crew members. 2 others, the only survivors, were pulled alive from the tail section. Inside the airport, a fire official read out the victims' names to stunned family members and friends. All of the passengers were South Koreans except for 2 Thai citizens. At a memorial center set up in the city of Muan where the crash occurred, people came to pay their respects. One of them was South Korea's interim president, Choi Sang-mok, who's only been in the job 4 days. The crash site was combed for evidence to add to information that will eventually come from the cockpit and flight recorders. One Korean TV station is reporting today that the same Boeing 737-800 was involved in another minor accident back in 2021. But it will be months or even years before investigators understand the complex factors behind Sunday's catastrophe.
Tributes are pouring in from around the world for the late Jimmy Carter. The nation's 39th president died Sunday at the age of 100. Now plans for his official national funeral are being released so people from coast to coast can pay their respects. Christiane Benavides has the latest from Atlanta.
Jimmy Carter, the former peanut farmer, Navy veteran, state senator, governor, president, and Nobel Peace Prize recipient, is being remembered as a peacemaker, a humble man of faith and integrity, tirelessly dedicated to the causes of democracy and helping others. Following his time in the White House, the single-term president went to work helping build hundreds of homes across the country with Habitat for Humanity. This man lives in a home Jimmy and Rosalind Carter helped build in Mishawaka, Indiana.
Thank you, Jimmy Carter. I'm very grateful for you and what you did for me and my family.
I have always been a Christian, and I think one of the key things we learn from Christ is that we should help people in need.
The national funeral for Jimmy Carter will be held at the Washington National Cathedral on January 9th. President Biden has declared that day a national day of mourning and ordered the nation's flags be flown at half-staff for 30 days. While tributes are pouring in from around the world, perhaps the most notable came from Carter's 5 living successors.
He was a statesman and humanitarian. And Jill and I lost a dear friend.
Former and President-elect Trump said while he strongly disagreed with Carter, the late president worked hard to make America a better place, and for that, I give him my highest respect. Bill Clinton said Carter worked tirelessly for a better, fairer world. George W. Bush said he was a man of deeply held convictions and that he dignified the office. And Barack Obama said Carter vowed to always tell the truth, and he did, advocating for the public good. Consequences be damned.
Starting Saturday, Carter will lie in repose at the Carter Presidential Center in Georgia. On Tuesday, January 7th, he will be taken to Washington, D.C. to lie in state at the rotunda of the U.S. Capitol, where mourners may pay their respects. He will be laid to rest on his family's property in his hometown of Plains, right next to Rosalind, his wife of 77 years. Lawmakers in Lansing worked through a long agenda during the last few weeks of session. A group of bills passed in both the state House and Senate to create more firearm safety measures. The first is an education bill that enables schools to send home info sheets about Michigan's safe storage law. Another will require firearms surrendered to the Michigan State Police to be destroyed entirely. The last creates a funding source for community gun violence intervention programs.
Our legislature listened, has not let these bills that have been languishing under previous leadership go unheard. And they picked them up and they said, the people want to do something, they're getting sick and tired, and they did something.
The bills have yet to see a signature from the governor. There's more about them on our website, WZMQ19.com. A large state grant is helping one UP college make higher education more accessible for adult students. Bay College received a $1 million grant from the Michigan Department of Lifelong Education, Advancement, and Potential. The funds will help Bay expand existing programs like career services, competency-based education, and prior learning initiatives. Administrators say those resources help adult learners fit a college education into their lifestyle.
Bay College really leads the way in terms of being flexible and trying to meet the needs of our students. Students come with all different types of barriers, whether that be they're working, they have family. Bay College responds to those needs and tries to remove those barriers for students.
Bay College can put the grant money to use in the new year, just in time for the new semester on January 13th. More than 100,000 people are on the National Transplant waiting list. At this year's Tournament of Roses parade, one organization is celebrating those who have helped make that list smaller through organ and tissue donation. Donnie Bacchus got a sneak peek of the float and spoke to family members of those being honored.
Among all the bands and elaborate floats at the Rose Parade, one will be dedicated to those who have received or given the gift of life.
We're about to celebrate our 15 years, right? Yeah. We're about to celebrate our 15-year liversary.
Elaine Jones is a living organ donor. She gave part of her liver to a then infant girl named Jaylee, who is now a teenager and thriving.
I consider her as a mom.
As a mom? And why a mom?
Because she donated a part of her to me, and I'm thankful for that.
The spirit of thankfulness will be on full display on the One Legacy Donate Life float. The theme is Let Your Life Soar. Those impacted by organ and tissue donation shared their stories at a preview event. The Organ Procurement Organization will pay a special tribute to deceased donors. 14 organ and tissue donors will be honored through these fluorographs on the float. Through donation, they've saved more than 50 lives and healed hundreds more. The youngest was just 2 years old.
I think the best thing for us was just knowing that another 2-year-old's life could be saved, a 50-year-old man, a 50-year-old woman, just the possibilities from it.
The parents of 2-year-old Sire Porcher donated his organs when he died from an accidental drowning last year. They're proud to know that even though his life was cut short, he leaves behind a lasting legacy.
He was special. I didn't know if he was going to be an actor, famous, an athlete, but he was going to do something big, and the fact that this is the something big that he did with his life.
A big honor for donors, recipients, and their families, as they hope the float inspires more people to donate life.
Last year, the One Legacy float won the Judges Award for dramatic impact. Tom DeVecchio has your first warning weather forecast when we come back. Plus, the busy travel season hasn't quieted down yet. We'll hear what travelers are going through. And we'll hear how much car technology has improved and how it's improving safety on the road. Now, lawmakers are looking for things to improve even further. We'll be right back after this.
John's Auto has been voted the #1 dealer to buy pre-owned vehicle for longer than I've been alive. If you're looking for a vehicle, or if you're looking for someone to help with your current car, or if you need to get yours looking like new again, come see us at John's Auto Sales and Service, Marquette.
Menards is your destination to save big money this new year. We have it all from big to small and everything in between. Treat your dog to Purina Vegan Strips, made without artificial colors and available in a variety of savory flavors. Grab a 25-ounce bag of Vegan Strips bacon dog treats for $10.49 each. Plus, get a $15 rebate after spending $75 on all Purina items.
Save big money at Menards.
It's Shunk's end of the year clearance. You'll save 30 to 60% off hundreds of items. We're clearing out sofas from Flex Steel, Lazy Boy in England. You can buy a nice sofa for just $4.49. There's big discounts on recliners from Lazy Boy, Flex Steel, and Best. Recliners start at just $2.99. And huge discounts on Amish dining room and bedroom furniture, quality that will last a lifetime. There's clearance prices on mattresses from Serta, Sealy, and Tempur-Pedic. A full-size mattress is just $179. Shop Shunk's at Marquette today.
Blades Bait and Tackle and Little Beatty Knock. They've got rods, reels, cases, walls full of tackle and lined by the spool. Even more rods, hand augers, of course electric ones are cool. Tip-ups, heaters, boxes, sleds, and electronics to get you on the bite. Shacks to buy or rent for the day or night. Clothes to keep you warm through thick and thin, and of course all sorts of bait in the buckets it goes in. If you're heading for the bay, always make your first stop Blades Bait and Tackle in Kipling. You need it, they've got it. Be sure to visit them online at bladesbait.com to get the latest ice conditions and weather reports.
Is your parents' car sounding funny? Do you hear any clunks, rattles, squeaks, or leaks? Tell them to call John's Auto Service Department for fast, friendly, and affordable service. Come see us at John's Auto Sales and Service, Marquette.
Now, WZMQ TV19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Tom DeVecchio.
Things are looking pretty tranquil for the balance of the night, and looks like a relatively quiet ending, at least here in Marquette, for 2024, and a tranquil start to 2025. Now, those of you in the snowbelt areas, it will be a northwest flow. You'll probably get a few inches of snow. Those areas closer toward the western shores of Lake Superior and out toward Newberry and Munising area, you could get about 1 to 3 for the first day, Wednesday of New Year's. Colder temperatures will continue to come in, gradually getting colder each day, and by the time we hit the weekend, high temperatures, well, they might not get out of the teens, so she will be a cold one there. And Futurecast shows a lot of clouds around for the balance of the night. And for Tuesday, again, most of the day looks dry. If you're heading out for any festivities for New Year's Eve night, be aware there may be some lake effect snow showers along the shores of Lake Superior and just to the east of Marquette. A few as well, and then they'll develop into Wednesday morning, first day of the new year. You can see the snow bands there on the shores. Snowfall amounts generally 1 to 3 for late Tuesday night and into Wednesday from west of Marquette into the shores of Lake Superior. And Munising, you can see, maybe 2 to 4 out there. Newberry about 1 inch. Sault Ste. Marie won't get much here. Again, on that northwesterly flow. So could be a little slick for some of you in those areas, but for Marquette and places along the Wisconsin border, we're looking at generally less than 1 inch of snowfall. So what can we expect in particular? So for New Year's Eve, partly to mostly cloudy for your New Year's Eve festivities, with the exception maybe of a few of those light snow showers in the belts. New Year's Day, partly cloudy for Marquette, but you saw where the lake effect snows will be falling. So those areas are going to gain about 1 to 3 for New Year's Day. And the temperatures will continue to slowly fall for the first few days of 2024. So for tonight, temperatures, most of you in the upper 20s to the lower 30s, and maybe a few flurries around into the day. New Year's Eve, we'll have temperatures lower to mid 30s. A couple lake effect snow showers could develop late in the day, particularly west of Marquette toward the Lake Superior shores. After that, we're looking at dry conditions for New Year's Day for Marquette, but the lake effect will kick in 1 to 3 in those snowbelt areas, lawns, and out toward Munising and Newberry east of Marquette. Temperatures continue to fall through the week, down to 20 for highs on Friday. Not much snow, but very cold, not getting out of the teens. So head toward the upcoming weekend.
Tom, thank you very much. The nation's airports and roadways will be crowded to close out 2024, but the weather in some parts of the country could slow things down, and the famous New Year's celebration in New York's Times Square could see soggy skies. Karen Kafa has the latest from Washington.
2024 may be nearing its close, but at the nation's airports, the busy holiday travel period isn't over yet.
We just got all the bags checked, so hopefully security doesn't take too long.
The Transportation Security Administration expected Monday to be one of the busiest days of the holiday stretch, and it came after a weekend of severe weather in the southeastern U.S., including deadly storms in Texas, Mississippi, and North Carolina. Hundreds of flights within, into, or out of the U.S. were canceled on Sunday, and more than 11,000 flights were delayed. This traveler headed west from Chicago's O'Hare International Airport, taking a Monday morning delay in stride.
Okay, if it's only an hour. If it ends up being 5 or 6 hours, then, you lose the day in Arizona. But you know what? It's vacation, so no complaints.
Meanwhile, in New York, preparations are underway for an expected 1 million New Year's Eve revelers in Times Square, including a test drop of the famous confetti on Sunday.
We're going to test it here today so that we're ready to start 2025 strong.
And a warning from city officials Monday to expect rainy skies.
The lucky ones that are going to be up front and able to see the ball drop, dress warmly. We're expecting rain, so we're telling you to be prepared for the weather.
While the East will contend with rain to end 2024, parts of the Midwest could also see a messy New Year's Eve as some snow mixes with rain at times.
For years, cars and trucks have been equipped with cameras and sensors that can prevent an accident. A new study shows the technology is improving and comes as the government is telling automakers to make it even better. Chris Van Cleve reports.
Automatic emergency braking can sense a potential accident and even stop the vehicle if the driver doesn't hit the brakes in time. But the technology has not always been reliable. Now, a new study from AAA shows things are improving. Researchers tested 2017 models at speeds up to 35 miles per hour. They stopped before a collision about half the time. But 2024 models did much better, avoiding every single crash.
The technology continues to improve, both the hardware, the cameras, the radar sensors, but mostly the automakers have had more time to really refine the algorithms around how these systems work.
Greg Brannon is the director of automotive engineering at AAA and says even though there's been improvement, the cars have issues at higher speeds.
The systems really start to struggle at speeds above 45 miles an hour.
At 45 miles per hour, 3 out of 4 vehicles avoided a collision. But when speeds were increased to 55, none of those tested were able to stop in time. That's important because federal regulators just finalized a new rule that starting in 2029, all new cars and trucks need to have emergency braking that can prevent an accident at up to 62 miles an hour. Experts say reaching the 2029 standard will be difficult. This summer, the trade association representing automakers told Congress the rule is not feasible with widely used braking technologies, and in a recent statement said the changes will make vehicles more expensive. The group is asking President-elect Trump to reconsider the new regulations.
Still to come on your 19 News at 11. We have more details on what's being planned for New Year's Eve tomorrow night in Marquette. We'll go over what to expect after this.
19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
Welcome to Toyotathon.
Hi, I want a new Toyota for a weekend getaway. Recharge from the holidays.
Perfect. We've got new vehicles arriving daily.
Excuse me,
I have got a truckload of new Toyotas out front.
Truckload of new Toyotas?
Come on, man. I want one.
Something I said?
Yes.
Now you can get 4.99 APR financing on the new all-hybrid Camry. Or you can lease a new Camry now from just $259 a month. Plus, get 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Toyotathon ends January 6th.
Toyota. Let's go places.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. It's that time of year again. Medicare annual enrollment period is here. From October 15th until December 7th, you have the opportunity to make changes to your Medicare Advantage plan. Find the plan that suits your health care needs. The annual enrollment period is started and will end on December 7th. Now is the time to speak with a licensed agent about the Medicare Advantage options and to find out about the benefits that may be available to you with the Medicare Advantage plan. The Medicare annual enrollment period allows you to shop for plans that include your preferred doctors and specialists. Getting started is easy.
Call 800-517-8602
and compare different plans available in your area. Take the time to review your coverage and make any necessary changes. Mark your calendars and make the most of the Medicare annual enrollment period. Medicare annual enrollment period is your chance to ensure you find a plan that's right for your needs. Don't wait. Act now.
Call 800-517-8602.
To catch him, they'll use every trick in the book.
Top investigators and police use the latest forensic science to uncover the truth and solve real cases. The devil is always in the details. Forensic Factor.
You're watching home to CBS Mornings, WZMQ 19.
You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local with Kevin Hodge.
This is home. Every year, hundreds of people flock to downtown Marquette for the annual New Year's Eve block party and ball drop. Our John Truitt spoke to some of the organizers who are planning a night of celebration this year.
Double Trouble Entertainment, along with Marquette's DDA and Travel Marquette, are hosting this year's event. The evening begins with a more kid-friendly ball drop for those who don't want to stay up till midnight. This earlier version of the traditional midnight ball drop will begin at 6 p.m. with a family-friendly block party, followed by an 8 p.m. ball drop.
To allow, the parents to bring their kids downtown, get their kids that excitement without needing to keep them up too late.
Then at 10 p.m., the Marquette New Year's Eve block party begins, with live DJs, plenty of food and drink, as well as dancing on the 100 block of West Washington Street. Double Trouble's operations manager, Catherine Marsh, says tomorrow night will have something for everyone.
It's going to be a huge block party on the Washington block, over outside of Diggs. We've got live music, we've got dancing, we've got fun lights, and we have our own custom New Year's Eve ball drop ball that we're dropping.
As a reminder, the 100 block of West Washington Street will be closed to traffic from 10 a.m. on New Year's Eve until 6 a.m. New Year's Day.
Basically, as soon as things start to pick up, even with the early ball drop for children, parking is free.
Michael Bradford of the DDA believes Marquette's ball drop is a reflection of the community.
From all the lights, the music, the whole production is fantastic. And in my opinion, one of the best, in the Upper Peninsula.
As with any large event like the ball drop, extra police will be on duty both on foot and on the roads.
We are going to have officers specifically assigned to that downtown area for the ball drop. And we'll also have officers specifically assigned to traffic enforcement.
In Marquette, John Truitt, WZMQ 19 News.
If 2 weeks ago someone asked you what the U.S. national bird is, that would have been a trick question because there wasn't one. Now, though, there's celebration in some circles after President Biden signed a bill into law last week, making the bald eagle the nation's official national bird. The National Eagle Center in Wabasha, Minnesota, teamed with Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar for a news conference heralding the development. Even though the bald eagle has often been a symbol of the United States, the nation has actually never had an official bird. Klobuchar led the bipartisan effort to change that.
Seeing these birds up close, you can feel just how majestic they are, and you can understand why our founders chose the bald eagle to appear on our nation's official seal.
The bill that lands the eagle in U.S. code passed the House and Senate with no opposition. In Kenya, a man's lifelong passion has turned into what might be Africa's largest butterfly collection. But now, at 74, he's racing against time and climate change to save his life's work and a critical piece of Africa's biodiversity. Kamal Afzali has the story.
Stephen Collins has spent 60 years building what might be the largest collection of African butterflies in the world. His centre in Kenya holds 1.2 million pin specimens and 3 million more in storage. Combined, they represent 95% of all known species.
This collection here is the biggest collection of African butterflies in the world. It's huge.
His 1.5-acre property is a haven for butterflies, filled with native trees and flowers. And it's more than just a hobby. Collins' research has described hundreds of new species. But climate change and deforestation are destroying butterfly habitats across Africa. For this collector, the aim is now
actually find a safe home for this when Collins is no longer here.
Collins says his work is a priceless archive of biodiversity. But because of his age and the cost of maintaining his research, it needs funding and a permanent home to survive, to help preserve Africa's ecosystems for future generations.
Collins hopes to sell the collection to an individual or research institution. An annual budget posted online in 2009 indicates the cost of running his institute is about $200,000 a year. The next Downton Abbey movie honors one of the franchise's biggest stars, and a new documentary tells the story of Avicii's life and career. Amy Johnson has your entertainment headlines.
I will say goodnight and leave you to discuss my mysterious past.
The still untitled Downton Abbey movie, coming out in 2025, will honor the late Dame Maggie Smith, who died in September. Smith played Violet Crowley, Dowager Countess of Grantham, for all 6 seasons of Downton Abbey and 2 follow-up films. Producers say they plan a meaningful tribute to the British actress who captivated audiences with her sly wit. The film is set for release in September.
I always loved music. I knew that whatever I wanted to do later in life, I wanted to do something creative.
Netflix is premiering 2 new movies about the late Swedish DJ and producer Avicii on New Year's Eve. One is of his final performance. The other is a documentary about his life, career, and legacy called Avicii, I'm Tim. Tim Bergling, a.k.a. Avicii, was a rising star in electronic music when he took his life 6 years ago at the age of 28.
If you listen to the music, go back and listen to the music now that he released like 10 years ago, it sounds so fresh, modern, and I would say timeless.
And streaming now on Paramount Plus, Queen Wu, a new Korean period drama.
What's going on? It's nothing, Your Majesty.
The 8-episode series follows childless Queen Wu, who must save the kingdom after the king dies by marrying a suitor before 5 tribes learn of the king's passing.
Tom DeVecchio is next with your final look at weather, and the New Year's Eve ball in New York is tested to make sure everything goes to plan tomorrow night. We'll be right back after this.
John's Auto has been voted the #1 dealer to buy pre-owned vehicle for longer than I've been alive. If you're looking for a vehicle, or if you're looking for someone to help with your current car, or if you need to get yours looking like new again, come see us at John's Auto Sales and Service, Marquette.
Icy Hot Pro Massaging Balm. Easy to grip and massage, and the power of 2 max strength pain relievers. Ice works fast, heat makes it last. Icy Hot Pro Massaging Balm.
These hands create. All of the materials I work with dry out my hands. If my hands get really dry, I can't do my job. I depend on O'Keeffe's.
It's America's #1 selling hand cream for guaranteed relief.
If it works for these hands, it'll work for yours.
Also available in O'Keeffe's for healthy feet.
We are here, around the clock, in all weather. This isn't a job, it's a symphony. Mending hope, stocking the shelf, and being distant when we need to be. Understanding feelings. We don't have all the answers, but we're always present. Your home away from home in medical crisis. And your support brings warmth and comfort to families in need. Please donate today and help us make it home.
Blades Bait and Tackle and Little Beatty Knock. They've got rods, reels, cases, walls full of tackle and lined by the spool. Even more rods, hand augers, of course electric ones are cool. Tip-ups, heaters, boxes, sleds, and electronics to get you on the bite. Shacks to buy or rent for the day or night. Clothes to keep you warm through thick and thin, and of course all sorts of bait in the buckets it goes in. If you're heading for the bay, always make your first stop Blades Bait and Tackle in Kipling. You need it, they've got it. Be sure to visit them online at bladesbait.com to get the latest ice conditions and weather reports.
Is your parents' car sounding funny? Do you hear any clunks, rattles, squeaks, or leaks? Tell them to call John's Auto Service Department for fast, friendly, and affordable service. Come see us at John's Auto Sales and Service, Marquette.
For tonight and most of tomorrow, however, for late New Year's Eve and into New Year's Day, probably right after the ball drops there, lake effect snow bands will develop. Lawns out toward the western shores of Lake Superior, 1 to 3 in this area for New Year's Day, and the other area from Munising out toward the Newberry region. You too could get 1 to 3, maybe a little bit more. But in between, which includes Marquette, less than an inch expected for New Year's Day. And along the Wisconsin border, we're not expecting a lot in the way of snowfall as well. And to Thursday and Friday, temperatures continue to drop. A couple of flurries. We're not expecting much here again, at least for the Marquette area. Very cold as we head on toward the weekend. High temperatures probably not getting out of the teens, maybe some lake effect back into the lower 20s for early next week. Kevin, back to you.
Tom, thank you once again. Officials are testing the iconic Times Square New Year's Eve ball to make sure it's ready to go tomorrow night. The ball was illuminated and sent up the 139-foot pole atop One Times Square today in final preparation for New Year's Eve. Officials say the ball is capable of displaying a palette of more than 16 million vibrant colors and billions of patterns that create the spectacular kaleidoscope effect atop One Times Square.
You said this is the last time it's going to be raised this year?
Take a long look this year, because this is the last time this version of the ball is going to be seen here in Times Square on New Year's Eve. There's going to be a brand new ball for 2026.
Just about 24 hours to go until the new year, everyone. And that's going to be all the time we have for now, folks. But we'll see you again tomorrow at 6/5 Central.
Optimize your home with Maytag and Whirlpool appliances from Kirkish Furniture in Houghton. Maytag and Whirlpool offer best-in-class warranties on durable, state-of-the-art appliances, perfect for your laundry room or kitchen. Available in stock or online, plus free delivery and 0% financing.